How are you doing? Right, last time we were adding on the last of the planks to the hull, which is that one there and that one there. I've also taken this opportunity to sort out that faux pas that I made with the chine rail, where I had the chine rail going there to there and it was supposed to go from there to there. When it goes from there to there, it creates only the one step, which is how it's supposed to be, so it looks kind of much better there now. Easy enough done. Just add in a little bit of wood, add on the light ply and lacquer it to waterproof it. And there was the other piece that I added on there, and there was the fin part. This piece here, which was 16th balsa wood, I found it was starting to crack and split as I was handling it. So what I got is this stuff here, which is for laminating your A4 documents. Stick it onto there and you get an iron and just iron it on. And it's as strong as the ply then. The fin piece, you can see that's gone nicely smoothed into there. I've left this side open because that's where I still have to connect up the actuators after I've made the stabiliser and the elevator, which is quite a good little design by the guy that sort of made this thing. There's a slot there, so the actuator bar for the elevator, which is the bit that would go up and down like that to make the plane go up and down, goes in through there. Then you would connect it up at the bottom of there with that piece, which is quite good because it's a seaplane. You'd end up, if you had it in the normal way, which would go out about here somewhere to actuate it, you would end up with all the water getting into the tube, and that would end up inside the plane and cause harm to it. Right, I think that's about it. Oh, I've added on all these little stiffeners here because I'm going to glaze all of this with perspex. But also, even with the lightest of ply, I really think you would struggle to get this to bend around all of these shapes. So I've added in the stiffeners. I'll put the perspex over there. If you're going to do this, incidentally, you'd spray it black before you put the perspex on. Otherwise, if you try to spray it black afterwards, the obvious will happen. Then I'll just be adding on more of the same all the way along. You take the pedestal. Now this is the bit that the wing hangs off. So you've got the extra bit of heavy ply, two little dowels, and that slots into there. So that will be your starting point. You take that at the front piece there. Then you take some 8 plank, stick it in across the grain all the way along, up to the edge of these two rails, all the way to the back. I've added in 2 little extra stiffeners along there to hold them in place, because I like my stiffness. That goes onto there. Then, there would also be some draft excluder. Adding some draft excluder along those bits there, so when all this glue goes on, it'll be waterproof. So you just need to remember when you're adding that in, without the draft excluder, you're going to have to add in a little bit of spacer to make up for it like that. It's just so that if that's not in there, that ends up far too low. And when you want to shape all of this into the rest of the plane, it'll get a bit hard. So you do that. Then there's the top piece. That there is just inch thick plank, balsa wood. And this here is a piece of pine, and you put in your wing bolts, which are plastic bolts with a metal sort of hooky kind of nut on the bottom. Make a little recess in the bottom of the pedestal there. That fits into there, and you would epoxy resin that in. Needs to be strong because obviously the wing mounts to there, so all of this, everything, is hanging off the bottom of this piece here, so it has to be fairly strong. Then get those bits on, you add in these pieces here which just allow it to blend into the rest of the plane. You know, they have no structural kind of value really. So you'd have one along the top, one along the bottom. To get the shape of this, you would just take this off the plan that we did have, that we had nailed onto the bench, or stuck onto the bench there, and just slice round it, and that will get you the shape. Have I mentioned the servos? The little servo train there. Again, all these things are just small little bits of wood and squares and slots. That goes into there, and they're the actuators for the back of the plane, for the rudder and the elevator. That's pretty much it. A nose block out of that 1/2 inch stuff, just glued on and hacked down to shape. Right. So what I'll be doing now is the rest of the planking, which you've seen before, and also the glazing part of it. But it's exactly the same as, you know, as if you're planking it with the ply. You know, you're sticking it on. But as I say, remember to spray it black beforehand, otherwise it'll all go black. Right, that'll do for now, I think, and we'll see you again soon.